Why are sisters coming together on Grand Bahama? I'm Joan Davis Roll. I'll tell you why in the story coming up.
Indiscriminate dumping, a major challenge here on Grand Bahama. That story straight ahead. Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, he's the first Bahamian in 17 years to be awarded a special academic scholarship. We've got the details, so stay tuned.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for joining us. Topping news, Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Perry Christie, giving a positive forecast for the island's economy while in Parliament last evening. The nation's leader says, based on mid-year indicators provided by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, the Grand Bahama economy appears to be headed in the right direction as land sales have increased, construction permits have almost doubled over the same period last year, and confidence among local and international investors is improving. The Prime Minister says the tourism industry is showing good signs as airlift is on the upswing, and he notes that he wants the same growth for the cruise sector. However, he says improvements must be made to cruise port facility and to the cruise product to generate a higher level of visitor satisfaction.
With a view to achieving this goal, the relevant agencies in my government, led by the Office of the Prime Minister, will engage in the coming weeks in negotiations with a major cruise line, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and Hutchison Whampoa for a new port facility, major attraction, and improved product offering. We cannot be prisoners to an agreement where it is said that the government cannot do anything, even if it wants to, with a cruise line to increase jobs because Hutchison Whampoa has to agree.
The Prime Minister says it is important that the government, Hutchinson, and the Port Authority share a common vision on how Grand Bahama should progress.
It becomes particularly important for me and my government because as we review the provisions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, Mr. Speaker, which are shortly to expire, ensure greater compatibility between the interests of Grand Bahama Port Authority and the interests of government and the Grand Bahama as a whole. The objective will be to ensure that the Grand Bahama Port Authority becomes a more vibrant entity working hand in hand with the government to foster national development in a framework which is relevant to changing times.
The nation's leader says the Memorandum of Understanding formally executed between the government, Port Authority, Hutchison Port, and Mediterranean Shipping Company for the Phase 5 of the Freeport Container Port will be tabled soon in Parliament. The expansion carries a price tag of $210 to $250 million and is projected to deliver 150 direct jobs and 450 indirect jobs in the Grand Bahama economy. Freeport's pristine environment being threatened by indiscriminate dumping. The Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Grand Bahama Port Authority have teamed up to stamp out this problem, and officials say they are taking a zero-tolerance approach. Sabrina Brown reports.
Indiscriminate dumping is becoming more of a challenge here on Grand Bahama. On Thursday morning, our news team, accompanied by police, went to two sites of major concern. We saw a variety of discarded items, from old appliances to electronics, and even invoices from a local business establishment. But what was even worse was what appeared to be a tire farm in an area just off the Grand Bahama Highway. We caught up with City Manager at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Troy McIntosh, who said illegal dumping is an issue that the port continues to battle, and it is quite expensive to clean up.
Persons that are in various line of work, obviously, you're going to have stuff to dispose of, but we want you to ensure that you calculate for that cost and then dispose of that stuff properly. We spend in excess of $24,000 cleaning up. And again, these are unbudgeted items. And so obviously that isn't something we want to do because those monies are actually slated for maintenance of the city and other things. It's never ever slated for illegal dumping or indiscriminate dumping.
Environmental Manager Nakira Wilshcombe says indiscriminate dumping is not only an unforeseen expense, but an environmental hazard as well.
When you put such waste on our land, it has a potential of leaching into our groundwater resources. And so we want people to be mindful of this. You know, they're not just disposing it in a landfill, which is lined, but they're disposing it on the land. And so that can certainly go into our groundwater resources and contaminate our resources. We have a landfill that's properly designed to receive waste, and we want to encourage persons to utilize this landfill.
Welshcombe says they have noticed a disturbing trend.
We look through the indiscriminate sites and look through the debris that's dumped. It is from places of businesses, and so we're encouraging and sending a special appeal to businesses to refrain from doing such things.
Now, a sign is clearly posted at the entrance of one of the dump sites stating that the area is being monitored by security cameras. But that apparently does not deter the culprits. Inspector Henry Roll says if caught, the perpetrators can be prosecuted and fined up to $5,000.
Yeah, we are advising those persons to cease and desist. As a matter of fact, based on our investigative results here, we discovered that there's a number of persons who we have been looking at in the very near future to find out the reason why and who have been doing this act. As I would like to say to them that once we come to conclusion, they will be amenable to the law.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
An overnight shooting in Coral Reef Estates has left a man with serious injuries. The 26-year-old man told police that sometime around 8 o'clock last night, while in the Coral Reef Estates area, a male unknown to him pulled out a gun and fired several shots, hitting him in the lower right leg. The victim was transported to hospital in a private vehicle where he is currently detained. 2 males were arrested and are assisting police with investigations into this matter. Immigration officers foiling another alleged human smuggling attempt on Grand Bahama. A group of Haitian nationals were arrested at Xanadu Beach around 7 yesterday morning after officers reportedly received information that a group of migrants were about to be smuggled to the United States by boat. 4 persons were hiding in the bushes, along with a 5th person who turned out to be a Bahamian of Haitian descent. Reports say the 4 Haitian nationals arrived by boat from Haiti about 2 months ago and were in the country without a valid status. The 4 Haitian nationals are expected to be transported to the detention center in the capital and deported to Haiti. The 5th person was released after presenting his Bahamian passport. Now, earlier this week, 12 Brazilians were found hiding out in a hotel room in Lucaya. They were transported to the detention center yesterday. Just a few hours left for campaigning for candidates in the local government elections, but for the East Grand Bahama District, very little campaigning is needed as candidates in the majority of the areas have been elected unopposed. Natalie Martinborough has the story.
Elections will be held in 2 of the 6 polling divisions in the East Grand Bahama District, Sweetings Key and the Pelican Point McLeanstown area. Polling Division 1, Sweetings Key, 7 candidates nominated, but only 5 are needed. The candidates are Eleanor Tate, Wilson Bevans, Floyd Feaster, Calvin Mitchell, James Pyfrom, Alexander Russell, and Shervin Tate. In the Pelican Point McLeanstown area, polling Division 6, voters will elect 3 of the 4 candidates. The names on the ballots: Wilton Thomas, Daniel Bain, Franklin Pinder, and Joseph Thomas. In High Rock, polling Division 2A, Pedersen Ballou, Magdalene Mader, Elvina McIntosh, and Erica Roberts were elected unopposed. In the Freetown, Bevanstown, Gambia Point, and Gold Rock Creektown area, Glenroy Cooper and Marcus Cooper were elected unopposed. Hiram Arthur Heald will represent Water Key, and Clifford Eden was elected unopposed for the Maida Town, Smiths Point, and Langtown area. Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. There are a myriad of issues facing women in this country, and a sisterhood has been formed on Grand Bahama to help females navigate through the challenges of life and face those issues head on. An event held at the Grand Luhai Resort recently signaled the beginning of this exciting movement. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
They came together sister to sister to bring attention to issues facing the sisterhood. The event, a first for organizers, brought together women from across sector of the community. Various presenters hoping to ignite a passion for vision and success among this generation and beyond. Senator the Honorable Tanisha Tynes among those challenging young women to dream big.
When I was younger, I did not have an idea that I would one day be a senator for the Bahamas. Not in my wildest dreams. I never thought I would be in politics, for one. But to be a woman who is for all women and for all citizens of the Bahamas. And it's a wonderful thing to achieve such a position and to be an example for young girls who may think that they cannot do it. But you must step out of your box, out of your normal way of living, and to try something new, not to be as an experiment on the country, but because sometimes you get stuck in a rut, and you have ideas of what you want your country to be like, and so you step out and say you offer yourself of service to the country.
Other speakers like Melissa Forbes of the Ministry for Grand Bahama and entrepreneur Billy Bowe providing some real-life nuts and bolts when it comes to climbing the corporate ladder.
I'm a hospitality professional. I've been in the hospitality industry for more than 20 years, and I just felt compelled to give back. As an agent for the government, we are cognizant of the unemployment rate, especially among youth, and we know some of the reasons why they're lacking in soft skills and the attitudes. So I just felt like this was a forum that I needed to be a part of so I could impart knowledge and just give back to the young ladies today so that they can make an impact on society as well.
How do you develop a roadmap to success?
That is a very good question. I will tell you, I'm a graduate of Hawksville High. I'm proud to be a graduate of the public school system. And I've always had inside of me something that I knew I wanted to do. And I just modeled people. I found persons that were doing things well, and I wanted to do that too. So basically I latched on to that, and then as I got older I started to define my own, what I wanted to be. So I took good things from people and I used it, but the road was not easy. I had lots of obstacles, but I think if you always keep focused, I think these young women, if they can take away anything from this, stay focused, be a visionary for your own life. No one needs to tell you about who you are and where you want to be. Take advantage of those naysayers who say, you know what, you can't do it. Those are the people you can go back and say, hey, look at me, I did it. And that's really what it's all about.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
It's an exciting self-development program that equips young people with the skills needed to make a positive difference in their communities and in the world. Those involved here on Grand Bahama were awarded for their commitment to the program. The National Executive Director of the Governor General Youth Award Program on Grand Bahama to congratulate another group of students for successfully completing training for bronze and silver awards, noting that some young men are constantly finding themselves in problems. Denise Mortimer says she's happy to see the large number of young men in the GGYA program.
Young men, you're on your way to becoming productive citizens, being successful. The program will show you the way. So again, I want to thank you for not watering the trees when we out on an expedition. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. I also want to thank you for staying with it. You have proven that you have perseverance, you develop self-confidence, and you're becoming aware of the social environment in which you live and go to school. So again, thank you for choosing GGYA and congratulations.
To the young ladies who are outnumbered by the boys, she says the sky is the limit.
I also want to thank you for giving GGYA the opportunity to help you in your development as beautiful young ladies that you are. And of course, one of you right here is going to be the leader, if not of where you work, of your college, if not of your island, one day of this country, because you have it. You're developing qualities, leadership qualities, and you're beautiful. So again, thank you for choosing GGYA.
Mortimer also thanking the parents for their support of the program. She says while students could have chosen other activities, GGYA will provide the students with useful skills for the rest of their lives.
The beauty of the program is that they can use the activities that they're involved in. A lot of parents say, oh, they don't have time, they have to go to music, and then they're on the swim team or they're playing soccer. No, they can use those activities to get the award. So again, I want to encourage you to help them move on to the next level, and there's a lot of adventure in store.
Mortimer also singled out the hard-working volunteers for their dedicated service. A group of students from a local high school getting set to take their musical talents abroad, and they need your help. Sabrina Brown has that story.
Students from the St. George's High School are about to take a trip of a lifetime. The performing arts students are preparing to visit Holland College in Canada on July 21st for 1 week. Shakita Stubbs is coordinator of the Performing Arts Department.
The school is actually going to give scholarships to some of the worthy students that will be there. And it gives them an opportunity now to see where their music, where their performance, where their ability level can take them.
The students were selected based on a special criteria.
Their abilities and their performance level, as well as their involvement in community activities such as the Regency Theater. Some of them have been involved in that. Also, they've sung in different bands, their national arts performances, because I've had some national winners in that, and as well as their grade level in the class itself. Appealing to the general public, any businesses, if there's any help, financial help that you can offer. It is a really, really, really costly venture.
Now, if you wish to help the students get to Canada, you can contact St. George's High School. That's a check on news, but stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn comes your way next with sports.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sports. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Let's get right to it. The Grandma Port Authority Bahamas Baseball Federation 12th Andre Rogers National Baseball Championship is underway at the GB Baseball Stadium. Now, last night they had the technical meeting of the Royal Islander. Here's what the coaches had to say. The coaches for this year's tournament meeting on the rules. Eleuthera coaches and executives ready to play ball. Freedom Farm has a full contingent and focus, says C.J. McKenzie.
We're always happy to come back to Grand Bahama. This should be one of the most competitive tournaments we've had in a very long time. Freedom Farm is coming full force, stronghold. We're looking and expect to capture all 6 divisions gold medal.
The Baseball Nationals is a very tense event for the coaches and officials. Larry Forbes says Eleuthera has a small contingent, but they're ready.
This year we switched back to a 11-12 team, which is a senior bantam. Previously we were pushing the 13-15 division because that's our strongest division. But this particular year we decided to give the kids exposure in the senior bantam league. We feel confident in the team that we bought. We teamed up with Spanish Wells this year to present an all-star team out of Eleuthera, and we feel that we're pretty strong this year.
Roscoe, Camp and Legacy baseball teams have accepted the challenge this year.
We feel pretty good going into the tournament. 7-8, I think, would be one of our featured teams. The 9-10 is pretty good, and 11-12 is very competitive. 13-15 did not get as much playing time as we need to, but the talent level is there.
The Junior Baseball League of Nassau is back and back in a big way, says Teran Rogers.
As always, we're always very competitive. Out of all the divisions, most of the time we're in the gold medal game. So I think we're prepared this year to do the same thing, be in the gold medal game.
The Community Baseball League is back and ready to play. Tony Scrivens and Mario Ford like their chances.
We're only playing in one division while we're here. That's the 11-12 division. Our league has only been in operation for 2 years. We were here last year. It was an initiation for us. And now we're back this year. We understand the competition, and we'll be much more competitive than we were last year.
It's a mixture from the Adam Bristol Baseball Program, the Fred Papa Smith Program, and the Bassani Program, and the Mario Ford Baseball Camp. Those 4 camps make up the Community Baseball League. So with that, we picked most of the players who we felt had the most talent and the opportunity to help us to get here to do well in this tournament.
Grand Bahama Little League and Grand Bahama Amateur Baseball, they got the home field and ready to play. Well, the action on the field today was pretty hot, folks, so let's go to the ballpark and cross the line. Let's go to Field 1 and the 13-15 Junior Division between Junior Baseball League of Nassau and the Grand Bahama Amateur Baseball. JBLN with the hot bats. The base hit to right field. Grand Bahama Amateur playing like amateurs, botched up the throw. JBLN playing heads-up ball and able to take the lead and never looked back. As for other juniors play, Freedom Farm Can Legacy 7-1. On the action in the Field 2, this is New Providence Community Baseball League and Freedom Farm, a major showdown for the 11 and 12s. Freedom Farm jumped all over Community to take a 6-1 lead on this 3-1 shot to left field. And other scores, JBLN over Legacy 8-3. On Field 3, Freedom Farm Legacy Baseball in minor 9-10 division. Freedom Farm defeated Legacy 17-6. Also a slow start as far as the tournament on day 1. Director Teddy Sweeting says just a few hiccups.
We did get off to a slow start. We had a lot of rain coming into the tournament, so the grounds were saturated. But right now we're back in the flow. We're behind on the big field, the 90-foot diamond, which will iron out today. We don't get any more rain today. We should be back on schedule about around 10 o'clock tonight. All of the other divisions, the 9-10, coach pitch, the 11-12, they're right on schedule and we're moving straight along. It's just an exciting time for us, whether it rains or not. Kids are here to play baseball, and that's what it's all about.
Elotha Junior Baseball League also looking to turn some heads. Now the tournament scoring is now computerized. That means better stats and numbers. The Grand Bahama Baseball Stadium will also change its name tomorrow. It'll be called the AmeriCaribbean Baseball Park. And also it's great to see Angelo Jello Burrows, who's home to see the tournament, and we got quite a few baseball scouts. We'll hear from them tomorrow. Let's look at your sports tonight.